Congressman Dennis Kucinich is a dynamic visionary leader of the Progressive Caucus in Congress. He combines a powerful activism with a passionate commitment to peace and human rights. He has proposed a federal Department of Peace intended to make war archaic. He opposes the weaponization of outer space and stands for the abolition of all nuclear weapons. A strong supporter of universal health care and campaign finance reform, he has proven himself a potential national leader with a limitless future. Ladies and gentlemen, the brilliant, fearless, imaginative Congressman from Ohio, Dennis Kucinich.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lila Garrett. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership of the Southern California Americans for Democratic Action. Here's a woman whose passionate commitment to the principles of freedom helps keep that light burning. Lila. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. From every mountainside let freedom ring. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? America, America, God shed grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I offer these brief remarks today as a prayer for our country, as a celebration of our country, with love of democracy, with love of our country, with hope for our country, with the belief that the light of freedom cannot be extinguished as long as it is inside of us, with the belief that freedom rings resoundingly in a democracy each time we speak freely, with the understanding that freedom stirs the human heart and fear stills it, with the belief that a free people cannot walk in fear and faith at the same time, with the understanding that there is a deeper truth in the unity of the United States, that implicate in the union of our country is the union of all people everywhere, that all people are essentially one, that the world is interconnected not only on the material level of economics, trade, communication, and transportation, but interconnected through human consciousness, through the human heart, through the heart of the world, through the simply expressed impulse to be and to breathe free. I offer this prayer for America. Let us pray that our nation will remember that the unfolding of the promise of democracy in our nation paralleled the striving and accomplishment of civil rights. That is why we must challenge the rationale of the Patriot Act. We must ask, why should America put aside guarantees of constitutional justice? How can we justify, in effect, canceling the First Amendment and the right of free speech and the right to peacefully assemble? How can we justify, in effect, the canceling of the Fourth Amendment, probable cause, the prohibitions against unreasonable search and seizure? How can we justify, in effect, canceling the Fifth Amendment, nullifying due process, allowing for indefinite incarceration without a trial? How can we justify, in effect, canceling the Sixth Amendment, the right to a prompt and public trial? How can we justify, in effect, canceling the Eighth Amendment, which protects against cruel and unusual punishment? We cannot justify widespread wiretaps and internet surveillance without judicial supervision, let alone with it. We cannot justify secret searches without a warrant. We cannot justify giving the Attorney General the ability to designate domestic terror groups. We cannot justify giving the FBI total access to any type of data which may exist in any system anywhere, including medical and financial records. We cannot justify giving the CIA the ability to target people in this country for domestic intelligence and intelligence surveillance. We cannot justify a government which takes from the people our right to privacy and then assumes for its own operations a right to total secrecy. The Attorney General recently covered up a statue of Lady Justice, showing her bosom, as if to underscore there is no danger of justice exposing herself in this administration. Let us pray, oremos, that our nation's leaders will not be overcome by fear, because today there is great fear in the Capitol, and this must be understood before we can ask about the shortcomings of Congress in this current environment. The great fear began when we had to evacuate the Capitol on September 11th. It continued when we had to leave the Capitol again, when a bomb scare occurred, as members were pressing the CIA during a secret briefing. It continued when we abandoned Washington during the anthrax scare, when anthrax, possibly from a government lab, arrived in the mail. It continued when the Attorney General declared a nationwide terror alert and then brought the destructive Patriot Bill the next morning to the floor of the House of Representatives. It continued in the release of the bin Laden tapes at the very same time the President was announcing our country would withdraw from the ABM Treaty. It remains present in the cordoning off of the Capitol. It is present in the camouflaged armed National Guardsmen who greet members of Congress each day we enter the Capitol campus. It is present in the labyrinth of concrete barriers through which we must pass each time we go to vote. The trappings of a state of siege trap us in a state of fear. Ill-equipped, trapped in a state of fear, ill-equipped to deal with the patriot games, the mind games, the war games of an unelected president and his undisclosed vice president.